Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Nintendo Jump Podcast in 2019. We are a weekly discussion podcast created for Nintendo gamers by Nintendo gamers. This is episode number 28. It is finally 2019, the year of Animal Crossing. My name is Sergio, and this week we have a huge surprise for you guys. I just cannot wait any longer. I just have to announce it now. Other than yours truly, this week we have not one, but two more hosts making their awaited return
Whoa.
from last year.
What?
Today we have Daryl,
Really? That guy?
and you guessed it, we also have Kevin.
What's good? Glad to be back after a while.
So, it is now 2019. I'm kind of a stickler for my sleep schedule, so I kind of just slept through the fireworks and all the celebrating and stuff.
Well, you know you had to get up at 3 o'clock to play Rocket League. That's
Right.
There we go.
that's a must at this point.
It's routine.
So, how was your transition from last year to this new year, you guys?
Mine was pretty decent, spent some time with some friends at a New Year's Eve event, and yeah, just rolled in, ready to go, lock and loaded. Just got some good rest for New Year's Day, and back to the grind, doing things the right way, the way it's meant to be done, and yeah, gonna play some more games, stay more active, some more self-improvement, and yeah, I'm just ready to go.
Nice.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to a really solid 2016. I think it's going to be a great year overall, and we'll roll right into it. So hey, awesome.
Nice, excellent. So we hope all of our listeners also had a great New Year's and are already making the best out of 2019. Spoiler alert, the Nintendo Jump Podcast is going to keep at it to become better and better and to bring you more enjoyment throughout the year. But before we make a full-on transition to 2019, we must give some homage to some of the best games and gaming moments from 2018. So each of us three hosts are going to discuss our personal top 3 games of 2018 and 2 other runner-ups. And then we're going to turn the mic on to you, our listeners, for some voice and text messages of your personal game of the year or your favorite gaming moment in 2018. And then we're going to close out the episode with a discussion of our most anticipated games for 2019. So let's jump into it. This time we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We're going to jump straight onto our number 1, top choice, top tier, creme de la creme. So our personal favorite games of 2018. Let's start with Kevin.
Yeah. My number one, unquestionably, Celeste is my number one of 2018. I
Nice.
just had so much fun with it. I mean, we can talk about how it's all about, being positive and trying to get to the top, but along the way, you go through his journey, you go through, just some of the challenges in life and being able to, go from platform to platform. I felt like this game did platforming very well. One of the best I've played for a very long time. And yeah, it's just a very well constructed game that I'm so glad it got best indie game of the year. It deserves it more than ever, and I just really had a great time with this game. And although I still have to finish the B sides and get to the C sides and all that, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, number 1 game for me.
Nice.
Yeah, so jumping over to me, my game of 2018, I mean, it's pretty obvious. You guys know I like Smash Brothers, and I have a lot of history. So obviously, my game of the year 2018 is Celeste.
Yeah.
It had to be, and I can't. So let me put it this way: I am going to spend more time playing and having fun with Smash Brothers over the life of the Switch. That's just the nature of a competitive multiplayer game. That's what it's going to be. But Celeste came out of left field and just kind of knocked me sideways. Like, this is a game unlike anything I'd ever played. And, I've played hard platformers before, but the way it tied in the story that's really deeply ingrained about anxiety and depression and Madeline's going through these things, and the difficulty actually ties into that. I've never ever seen that in a video game. I think it's beautiful. I think the A sides of that game, so like the first 7 levels, just getting through the main story of the game is so incredibly rewarding, and it actually It's one of the few games that I can say this actually. I feel like it made me a better person playing the game, which it shocks me to be saying that because I look back to the old Nintendo Direct where they showed it, and I'm just like, oh, that looks fun, and it is fun. So you tie in this really deep, meaningful, impactful game into a really fun, brutally challenging platformer game that actually the challenge ties into the story. And once you complete the story, there's even more challenging levels and there's a lot of stuff to do. And I probably spent something like 50 hours playing this game. When the chips were down and everything was on the table, I looked at it really hard and I looked at, well, this game, something like Smash Brothers, that game's going to stick with me for a long time. I'm going to have a lot of fun. Celeste is the one that has actually kind of changed my viewpoint of games in a way that no other game really did this year. So it has to go to Celeste.
Oh wow, nice. And as for me, my number one game, I think you can probably have a good guess on it. It is Rocket League.
Mm.
So I know this game came out actually in November of 2017, but I played. I mean, I played it a little bit back then, but I really got into it this summer. You may recall all three of us actually, and a lot of our listeners were part of a tournament run by a friend of the show, Silver Dragon. It was like a summer league that we had, and that's when I really got into the game. I was in a team with one of our listeners, Not Jesus, and he was a tough but fair mentor, and he kind of shaped me into the somewhat consistent goal scoring machine that I am. So, I got super into my training. I would play before work, after work, before bedtime. Basically, it took over Splatoon 2 as my gaming addiction, and there's still so much room for improvement, and I've loved every second of the game. So it's definitely my most played and my most enjoyed game of 2018 on any platform, and I just don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Honestly, even after Animal Crossing on the Switch comes out, I'm gonna have to find a way to sneak in some Rocket League in there. It's that good.
Fair enough. No, it's a really great game. I think that it's a really good team building game as well because we played in triples. I mean, just a lot of fun and just being able to drive around and hit the ball into the goal. I mean, there's nothing like it. And even saving goals too. I feel like saving goals or just stopping the ball from getting to the goal. I mean, it's just man, what an adrenaline rush.
Well, and I'm the same way. It's gonna keep pulling me back in, and I've still I still kind of play Splatoon. I'm still playing Smash Brothers. And then Rocket League is kind of that third pillar for me at this point that I keep going back to, and I'm
Nice.
probably gonna continue going back to, like just probably about a month or so ago, we had a podcasters versus listeners 3v3 match. By the way,
Mhm.
we won.
Yes.
uh, and we'll rematch you guys anytime. But I love doing that kind of thing. I love playing the game with people or even just on my own. It's just a fun game.
Yes, definitely. So, Kevin, do you want to go on to your number two?
My number two has a number two in it.
Oh,
Overcooked 2. Yeah,
oh,
that's my number two. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Overcooked 1 or Overcooked, and coming to Overcooked 2, it built on top of the formula. You're able to throw ingredients. It's just a lot more streamlined Overcooked game, and I had a lot of fun playing with my friends back at home, at work. It was just a really fun team building chemistry kind of game that, even though there's times where I had a friend back home, he would just use the fire extinguisher and just like spiral around for like 10 seconds even before time is up. And I mean, I can't really get mad at that because he was just being silly and funny and all that. And like at the same time, we were able to, get our 3 stars here and there, which is always great because you always want to aim for 3 stars per each level. And I think just the characters that are involved, the levels, they've gotten better. And I mean, it was definitely one of my favorite multiplayer games. I mean, obviously Splatoon 2, Rocket League, those are awesome. But for 2018, I felt like Overcooked 2 really
hmm,
hit the nail on the hammer. And it is an awesome game. If you haven't gotten it yet, like, this is a must play, especially with friends and family. So, and you can play online. I mean,
yeah.
which is a welcoming addition. So, Overcooked 2, yeah.
Nice.
I think that's an awesome pick. It's one of my favorite games to show to people just because it's so simple to pick up and play. And
Right,
then you
exactly.
get the concept, and then you get to kind of experience all the crazy kitchens with new people, and that it's so funny to me to I brought it up a couple times with my coworkers just to say, hey, this kind of feels like where we work.
So, Daryl, what is your number 2 game of the year?
All right, so my number 2 actually is Smash Brothers. So,
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, just shy of the first spot because again, this is an incredible game. Like if you actually look at what they put into this game and what they've done with it, it's it's shocking me as I go. Like the sheer amount of music and stages and characters and everything that's gone into it is just it's kind of mind blowing to be honest. And I do like the single player. Obviously, I'm not there for to be playing single player, so I haven't finished it
Right.
yet. But since the update, I know when it first came out, I had a complaint about the online multiplayer. That's been fixed. So they made a change so that it more prioritizes your actual settings. So if you want a serious 1v1 match, you're gonna get that like 95% of the time. You know, from
Yeah.
time to time, one will show up and it
Right.
won't be exactly my rule set, and I'll just finish that match and leave. But that's definitely the exception at this point, which is very very
Right.
nice. And also like once you get into the elite smash, I find myself getting paired up with really good players, like
Mm.
actual players whose names I know. Like I actually played Zero the other day.
What?
Uh, yeah,
Whoa.
I played 4 rounds with him. That's actually my second
Dang.
time playing him. I've played a few other people that I actually recognize their names,
Hmm.
and they're really good. So that never happened in the For Glory mode in Smash for Wii U, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
Uh-huh.
so the net result is I'm getting beat more than I did in Smash Wii U, but it's also a lot better practice, a lot better competition, and just
Right.
more interesting overall because you never really know who you're going to get. And when you've got these, kind of actual professional players sitting out there going into Elite and you're getting paired up with them, it's kind of awesome, actually. So honestly, I really like the game. It's really starting to click with me even more than it initially did. And yeah, I'm having a ton of fun with it.
Awesome.
Good stuff, man.
So, my number 2 game of the year is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Just
There we
Pikachu, no
go.
Eevee here.
Oh.
Eevee
So-
forever.
There you go.
Forever.
So, but back when we discussed this game, back when it came out in November, I mentioned that it's very easy for me to forgive the many shortcomings that this franchise still has, and I still do, and I'm proud of it, and that's why it's my number 2. So, I still don't really like the catching mechanics that are like in Pokemon Go, but I'm coming around to them, and I've been enjoying the game for what it is. It's basically a bridge game between the mobile game and the traditional turn-based experience, which we're getting another one next year. So yeah, it is what it is, and I like it. So one thing that we didn't mention back when we talked about this on a previous episode is the Pokeball Plus, the little
Right.
Pokeball controller. And that's actually turning out to be a really big part of the experience for me. It's you can play the entire game with basically with just one hand, either hand, by using the Pokeball Plus, and it has HD Rumble, which works really well. It has sound effects depending on the Pokemon that you have in there or that you catch. So it's a lot of fun, and it's adding uniqueness to a nostalgic experience. So it's bringing the best of our worlds, and definitely my number 2 game of the year.
I just like how relaxing the game is. Like before in Pokemon, there were some places where you might have to grind a little bit, but here it's just you don't have to grind at all, and you're just having a fun time, just going around catching Pokemon. I mean, I think it is a really there is a good balance between hardcore and casual, maybe more towards the casual, but I think it's a great way to get people back into the series. So why
Yeah,
not?
definitely. So we're moving on to number 3, and Kevin, why don't you start us off?
My number three was the most anticipated RPG for a while, and it is Octopath Traveler.
Ooh.
That's my number three, and I know there was another game that was very close, but this game, Octopath, has a slight edge over the next game I'll talk about in a second. But Octopath Traveler, I really enjoyed going through the stories, the chapters. I know people talked about how all the stories didn't really intertwine like how people expect it to be, but I just thought it was a nice touch. It was a nice breath of fresh air to have individual stories from like whether you have Alphen, you know the apothecary, or just even Therion the thief, going through his journey, trying to take off that bangle, and get those stones. Like, I think that it played a good role. The developers, the people who wrote the story, like I thought it was a nice touch, like what they did, and the combat is very very addicting, easy to learn, hard to master. I mean, just the music as well and the art, like the 2.5D is very stunning. I've never I never realized how stunning it was until I picked up the game and started playing at the time, and it's just an incredible game. And it definitely caught me off guard a little bit because I wasn't sure how great it was gonna be, and yeah, it scratched my itch for RPGs. And yeah, I mean, Octopath Traveler is my number three.
Awesome.
Okay, so going over to my number three, I'm going to take a real hard left turn. Completely different game. My number three is actually Octopath Traveler.
Oh, yo, there you go.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, so the different way that it actually approached storytelling, I honestly thought was charming. Like I liked it. I understand some of the gripes on the characters are literally standing there. Why wouldn't they have a conversation? And sure, that's a fair point. But what it really was strong at is telling each character's story with a bunch of really cool side characters. Like, there were a few side characters that I really, really liked in the world. And every time they showed up, and sometimes they showed up in multiple characters' stories, just like they would show up in a different character than you had met them in. That was just awesome to me. And you put kind of this smaller, charming, story-driven experience for each of the 8 protagonists on top of one of the coolest looking games, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. Actually, if you look at my list of 3 games, I thought about breaking out a topic for the best music of the year, but it would literally be the same 3 games. So there you go.
Yeah.
But the battle system is awesome. It's a lot of fun to play. I really liked all the interactions that the different classes had. Like, you could do a lot of cool stuff, like with this one character buffs this other character using this move, and then this other character is like completely ridiculous at that point. There were so many of those that I kept switching classes as I went through the game. It kept being interesting to me. Slightly repetitive at times, but I liked the setting, the characters, and the battle system so much that honestly I didn't care. So one of my favorite RPGs ever. And
whoa,
yeah, it's a very, very good game, and it had to be on my list.
you nailed it on the head. The customizations, the variety of combinations of classes you can do for your teams. I mean, it's incredible, and I think it really has shined very well for this year.
And I do want to say I developed a deeper appreciation for the game. There is after you complete all the character stories, there is a little side quest line you can go down to actually unlock like the true final ending.
Mm-hmm.
when you complete the character stories, you are not ready for that ending at all. Like, it's very, very hard, like much more difficult than the rest of the game. So it actually encourages you to kind of travel around and find the things you had missed and the extras, the extra hidden dungeons and things like that all over the world. So by the time I actually finished that game, and I did, I finished the full story, I felt like I had seen everything that was in the game. I had had an awesome experience. I finally beat this really hard final boss, and that feeling was just awesome. And this game, I'm going to keep this game. It'll definitely be in my archives for years and years to come. Just to pull it out and at least experience the music some more and things like that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Good stuff. Yeah.
And I think it's funny that my number 3 is also an RPG. Although, yeah, it is not Octopath Traveler. It is World of Final Fantasy Maxima.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so the best way I can describe this game is it's a Final Fantasy mashup. It has everything from Final Fantasy, all the main characters, all the enemies, the music, the worlds, and the weapons, everything about it. And mixed in with Pokemon. catching monsters, leveling them up, and making them evolve. So basically, that's already a double H yes from me right away. But it still has something very unique about it. It's called a stacking system, and basically you can stack three of your characters, and you are stronger in terms of attack and defense, but you only get to attack once, right? Or to take a single action. You can unstack, and you are able to take more actions during battle, but everyone is weaker. So there's a lot of strategy there, and you can mix and match your stacks and try different things. So it's been a lot of fun for me. I already played this before on the PS4. This is the enhanced version of the game, and it's definitely better on the Switch. And it's definitely a highlight in my number 3 game of 2018.
Very nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, a Final Fantasy game. I mean, I'm just glad that the Final Fantasy game is in one of our top three lists. I mean, the franchise has gone so far. I mean, like so many games have released over the years, and this is a prime example of how awesome Final Fantasy still is. So kudos to that.
Yeah, definitely. So those are top three games each, and we also have two runner-ups each. So, Kevin, what is your number 4? Your first runner-up?
My first runner-up, man, this is close. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is my runner-up. It had to be on the list. I mean, the anticipation, the adrenaline, just I've played Super Smash over all these years since the first one back in the N64. I mean, it's always carried a special place in my heart. I still have my OG GameCube controllers from Melee, and even the additional one that I got from Smash 4 for the Wii U with the GameCube adapter. And it's always a fun time. Like some of my favorite moments have been in Brawl with my college friends, and even now with playing Smash 5 with you guys and with friends back home. I mean, this is definitely the most polished Smash game I've ever played, and like with all the characters, and it just feels really nice, and like all the music that's in it. I mean, Daryl has mentioned a lot of great points earlier, but yeah, I think that it's just one of those games that you just want to keep for a very long time, and it deserves a lot of attention, and you can tell that Sakurai and his team have brought in a lot of love and just the craft that they put onto this game. So it has to be my runner-up, number one.
Nice. What about you, Daryl?
So my first runner-up would actually be The Messenger, and we talked about this quite a bit, but it's the most entertaining, I'll say like retro throwback style game that I've played since like Shovel Knight, probably, and it kind of feels a lot the same in the feeling that it imparts, although it's kind of building off of the Ninja Gaiden format, which is a fun game. But what they did with the humor in the dialogue and the actual like poignant sections in the dialogue, what I thought was a cool story, really really tight gameplay, an interesting switch at the end, which I know is kind of controversial, but honestly I liked it, from kind of a linear level based to a more exploration based gameplay, and just trying to find everything. I liked moving around in that world, which, as I mentioned before, is kind of a prerequisite for me, and I just had a lot of fun with it. Like I had a lot more fun with it than I expected to, and I went in expecting pretty good, so it was just a really fun game to play.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even like the dialogue too with the shopkeeper and just the whole present and past sort of thing, like, or yeah, past and future, right? Like just being able to go back in time and be able to go back into the current time, and trying to just get those musical notes. I mean, it's a pretty well constructed game. So I mean, man, I didn't expect this game to be that good either. I mean, it was pretty awesome. So
Nice. And my first runner-up, I am with Kevin. It is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
yeah.
I feel kind of guilty. I feel like if this game had clicked with me from the get-go, it would be higher on my list. But it just hasn't clicked, and I know part of the blame, or most of the blame, it's on my part. I just haven't. It doesn't entice me to play if I'm not playing with you guys or with our listeners from Discord, or with local friends. I mean, I know there's ways to play online, and there's local modes that are good and unique and different, but I guess it just hasn't clicked yet. But it's a game that we're gonna be playing for a long time. So I'm looking forward to it. Still, I still haven't settled on a main yet, so there's that too. But I know it's a really good game. I don't know if it's gonna end up being the best or my favorite Smash Brothers game, but I'm looking forward to trying to find out.
Your main is Piranha Plant. He's just not in the game yet. You know it to be
Oh.
true.
You can have three mains: Pikachu, Pichu, and Piranha Plant. I mean, you got the three Ps. You know what I mean? Like that's
Oh,
all you need.
nice.
Triple pie.
So Kevin, what is your second runner-up? Your number 5 game of the year?
Man, my number 5 game of the year. I put a demo of it back at PSX last year. It just released on the Switch earlier last month. I mean, Donut County. Yeah,
Aw.
Donut County is my runner-up number 2. I mentioned before how it pays an homage to LA, the county that I grew up in, but more so the city.
You grew up in Donut County? That's awesome.
Well, I wish I did, but I mean, I grew up in LA County, but for the setting of this game, it's in the city of LA, and I just appreciate all the visuals and well, not just that, but also how relaxing and simple it is to be a pothole. I mean, the idea is amazing. Like, I never thought I would have that much fun being a pothole and swallowing things, and that combined as a physics puzzle solver, like it's pretty awesome. And I think just going, even though it's a very short game, like I said, I completed in 102 minutes. I say that because on Steam it says 102 minutes, and it's just I really enjoyed every bit of it. And just BK the raccoon going through, thinking he thought that he was doing the right thing, but he wasn't, and he tried to make it up for it. And yeah, it's just I feel like it's one of those things that is very relatable in life. Like there's always a time where you can change, and the time is now. And just the variety of characters there too, like all the animals. And like I said, I do enjoy the visuals, just like how like the cell shade, the polygons. I mean, now I just have to go back onto the PC version and get all the achievements, but it is a very good version on the Switch. So if you haven't gotten it yet, I recommend on both the PC, Switch, and wherever. So go for
Yeah,
it.
definitely one of the most unique games I've played in a long time. I'm really glad I played it.
Yeah.
So Daryl, what is your second runner-up?
So my number 5, I really, really wanted to put Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1, and actually it's on my note, but I'm gonna do a hard turn. That game is awesome, by the way, so that's all I'm gonna say. My number 5 game is actually Starlink Battle for Atlas. So
Ooh.
Oh wow,
There we
you
go.
made it.
yeah, it definitely had to make it on my list. Now, we spent a whole episode saying a lot of Star Fox puns, way too many. But I treated this game as kind of a weird offshoot Star Fox game, and doing that honestly worked for me. I liked the space exploration. I liked seeing the different things. There was some complaints about, once you've seen one planet, they all kind of look differently, but they're all kind of the same thing. But they're actually doing some updates to the game to make that better. So they're adding different
Yes.
enemy types and things to do on the different planets and things like that, which is honestly, that's not something I expected, and it's nice to see. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, but even just the main game, I had a lot of fun with it. I was kind of like really engrossed in this world, in what was going on. You're playing kind of a child's game a little bit, but it got surprisingly difficult at times, and it was just a lot of fun I thought it worked really well as a moving and shooting. I thought the ships controlled really well. They all controlled pretty differently. The weapons were all, unique and powerful in their own ways. And I liked the different set pieces, like the first time you take down a dreadnought and the first time you fight a prime and things like that. It was a lot of fun, and I just had a lot of fun with the game. So yeah, ultimately that has to be on my list. So there it is, number 5.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I know how anticipated you were with the game, and yeah, I'm glad that you really liked it. So and I'm glad that Star Fox made an appearance. I mean, how cool is that to be able to have him back in the fold, and good stuff.
I also want to say they're running crazy deals on that game all over the place, like the physical version and the digital versions and such. If you watch for them, if you can pick up the digital version for something like $30, definitely go for it. Like
Yeah,
that's an amazing game for that.
that's a steal. Yeah.
Nice, very good choice. And my second runner-up, my number 5 game of the year, is Taiko no Tatsujin, or Taiko Drum
Oh,
Master,
nice.
as it is
Ooh.
now known in North America and Europe. So this was a very nice surprise for me. I imported the game complete with the drum set from Japan, and I actually really liked it. It's a lot of fun, which I kind of expected, but it's also really challenging. It really actually is. So eventually, the game did come out here in North America. You can download it, and in Europe, you can download and buy the physical version. But neither of them come with the drum set, unfortunately. So if you're interested, I would urge you to import the drum set. I think that's really the best way to play the game. I don't know how much fun it would be without the drum. So if you're interested in you're willing to invest into it, they keep adding free DLC and some paid DLC to the game, so they're keeping it alive. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, it made my list.
I really
Nice.
want to play that game. I
Yeah,
really, really
same.
want to play that game, and it's hard for me because it costs a lot of money to import this stuff and get it right. But man, I want to play that game.
Yeah, I mean, even just, I mean, having the drum. I mean, I think it's not an option. It's not an option. Like you should get the drum. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
how can you not? And
Right.
I mean, I'm glad you had a rhythm game in here too. I mean, I know you're a big fan of rhythm games, and if y'all don't know, Sergio is the rhythm game fan of the century. So if he says this game is awesome, you know it's gonna be awesome. So,
What if the next Animal Crossing was a rhythm game?
Oh,
yo, mind blown.
yeah, that'd be awesome. So those are our top 5 games of 2018, and it is time for you, our listeners, to voice in. We're gonna start with voice messages. So let's jump in.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Alex, or Coconut on the Discord, and my favorite gaming moment of 2018 would have to be the reveal that Animal Crossing is coming to Switch. With the last mainline game coming out in 2013, and me personally being burnt out on that game by like 2016, I'm just really looking forward to some new mainline Animal Crossing content.
Yes, Coconut, I am right there with you. You know it, man.
There we go.
I personally like the part where he's burnt out on the game 3 years later. Like, fair enough. That's a decent
Yeah,
shelf life.
Man, that is awesome.
Hey guys, it's Peachy. I've actually got 2 gaming moments, but they both come from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so I hope you'll understand. First up has to be the announcement, March 8th, 2018, at the end of a really good Nintendo Direct. We see the reveal of Super Smash Bros., the logo right there in the Inkling's eyes. I mean, I was just out of my seat with excitement. I don't think anybody was necessarily surprised that Smash Bros. Was actually coming to the Switch, but again, the way Nintendo presents it, following so much Splatoon content from the Direct, and then to just add on one more thing, just they always find a way to surprise you, and they did it there. My second has to be the reveal trailer for King K. Rool. Obviously one of the most highly requested characters in all of Smash history, finally gets his big reveal, and another incredible trailer done by Nintendo that really meant a lot to me personally. And of course, there were other really great reveal trailers leading up to Smash Ultimate, but I had to pick just one, so it has to be it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I was talking to him all during that time. Yeah, we were kind of freaking out together. So definitely. So he mentioned it wasn't really a surprise that Smash was coming. The thing that surprised me about that first trailer was it was coming so soon.
Right.
I did not expect it this year at all, or at this point last year. I did not expect it in 2018 at all. Just for that to be revealed and dropped in the matter of something like 6 months, that was a huge surprise to me, and a very, very pleasant one.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I still remember that day. Like, I was at work and I took a break on my lunch break just to watch it on my iPad. And like, when I saw that symbol, I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And I was trying my best not to like yell or scream. I just kept it inside. Like, holy shoot! Oh man, it was awesome. And then I remember I was just texting my friends about it. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, did you just see it? Like Super Smash? What?" Excuse me.
It's also nice that they highlighted the Inklings, who I really felt deserved their spot in there.
Oh, for
So,
sure. Yeah, I mean,
you know, they definitely highlighted Splatoon there to be kind of the flagship for the new one. Just kind of the same way that they treated Mega Man for Smash for Wii U. So
Right, right.
I love that. Everything about that was great. And yeah, that K. Rool trailer was amazing too.
Happy New Year, Nintendo Jumpers! Dr. Fact here, and my game of 2018 is Hollow Knight. It's the first game in years I've had an unrelenting want to complete, and because of that, a 100% focus on learning the gameplay and absorbing the experience. As the story is more or less evasive throughout the game, it led me to investigating its lore online, which only increased my love for it. Team Cherry are really hands-on with the community, and as with other games with small development teams, the care and desire to make their game the best it possibly can be is evident. It's one of the only games I wish I'd paid more for. I got it on sale for £8, but in all honesty, it's worth many times more than that. So Hollow Knight, game of the decade.
That is awesome, and I mean, just he made some great points too, and it's a pretty meaty, long game, right? Like 60. Like I heard, it's like 60 hours long. I haven't finished yet, but I mean,
It's a
60
very, very large game.
Oh, wow.
I was like, dang.
And it's like $15 normally. So yeah. No, I agree with everything he said. Actually, the way he described it is the same way I feel about Cave Story at the time. Of, you know, you play the game, you really want to beat it, you research it, you learn more about it, you'll play it again, that kind of thing. So definitely feel him there. I played Hollow Knight. I have talked about it. Honestly, it was an incredible game. I can't argue at all with it being one of the games of the year, although it's not on my personal list. It's definitely one of the best games on Switch, and I can say that.
Excellent. I'm actually doing a little list myself of games that I've been putting off, and I'm finally planning to play them this year, including Celeste, and I am just now adding Hollow Knight to it for sure.
Nice.
Nice. Way to go.
Hey, it's Shy Guy here. My 2018 Game of the Year has to be Celeste. The story really hit me on a personal note. The mechanics of that game, perfect. The levels are so carefully crafted and designed. Each pixel is exactly where it needs to be. The level design in that game is amazing. The soundtrack, to me, hands down, is the best gaming soundtrack I've ever listened to. In fact, ever since I found it's on iTunes, I've not listened to anything else for the past few months. And the message in the game, you can do this. I find myself saying those 4 words to myself, whether I'm playing a challenging game or just having a challenging day in real life. That game has taught me perseverance on a whole new level and has really changed my life in a lot of ways. I've never quite had an experience like Celeste, and hands down, it's my game of the year. As far as gaming moment goes, I'll chime in real quickly. Just for me, it's got to be Rocket League in general. I know it released in 2017, but Rocket League on Switch, I've been able to form a lot of close friendships in the community, and we still play and bond over Rocket League. Just being able to have that experience together and to still have it. I mean, I love Smash Brothers, but I've only had it a month, you know, so Rocket League's my gaming moment, so to speak, just being able to form the friendships with you all in the community.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
Nice.
It's shout out to Shy Guy, man. You know, we were in a team of 3 with us 2 and Ailro, and it honestly was one of the best moments I've had part of a team. I mean, playing with him, playing with Ailro, making each other better. I mean, it was just, and we did pretty well overall in the tournament, but the more important thing was that, you know, we were there together, and I mean, I can't tell you how great it felt to be part of that team. Just from top to bottom. I mean, Shy Guy says, I mean, it really it is a fantastic moment in my life as well. So, and with Celeste, like the music, I mean, I'm still a big fan of that particular remix song of the hotel level, Celestial Resort by Crystal Lee. with Lena Raine obviously at the helm of taking care of the music. But I mean, it's just amazing. Like, there's just days where I would just play that nonstop, and I just can't get enough. So
For the Game Awards that was broadcast, Celeste was actually nominated for Game of the Year, which was a huge moment, I thought, and I was
Yes.
very,
Yeah.
very happy to see that. But what was cool about it was when they were actually presenting it, they started it out by showing a trailer or showing gameplay on the big screen with like live music playing in front. And so you had Celeste, if I remember correctly, was the first game that they showed, and you actually had Lena Raine playing the main theme from the summit level on the playing it live with a backing band with it on the gigantic screen. And just the first thought was, man, that looks good. Like, it was awesome. Like, yeah, the point he made about the music, I was kind of holding off on that. Celeste, yeah, it's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard, hands down. As far as game music that I can I can still listen to, right? Like completely removed from the game, I can still just plug it in and really enjoy the music as it is, just as music. And then when you put it with the game, it's just that much more powerful. So, I've harped on the "you can do this" thing. So definitely agreed with him on all counts. So I think we can say definitively our games of the year or gaming moments of the year are Celeste and Rocket League. By popular vote. I think we're there.
yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Excellent.
Hello, this is Napping Rat, and my favorite game release of 2018 is the Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion DLC campaign. On a related note, my moment of the year was getting past the final secret challenge at the end of that campaign. Splatoon 2 is my favorite game on the Switch, and thus any expansion to it could easily qualify as the event of the year for me. However, I really feel that this DLC deserves consideration beyond Splatoon diehards, because there's a ton of new and varied content. The designs of the challenges are just crazy innovative, and the art style is great. I really recommend it to anyone who likes Splatoon. I never stopped smiling while playing through the campaign until I started struggling with the final secret challenge. Thankfully, I received tips from Dragon and prevailed after more than 6 hours of attempts. Thanks for listening. I hope everyone has a great year ahead of them.
That's actually a really good call. Calling the DLC, because it actually dropped this year.
Right.
So I definitely support that, because that DLC was great.
Yeah.
All the levels it added were fantastic in my opinion. I thought it was very, very smartly done.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that Nintendo really knows how to do DLC properly.
They sure do. I mean, it's when you pay that good money to Nintendo, you're gonna get that and more. So, especially from when I first bought DLC with the first iteration of Mario Kart 8, I mean, they did a really good job, and they're still doing a great job now. So,
Nice. And like we said, we also have some written text messages from some of our listeners on their favorite games or favorite gaming moments of 2018. So we're going to take turns reading a couple of them. So, Kevin, do you want to read Lama Libre's message?
absolutely. Here we go. Lama Libre says, been away from my computer for a good while, so no recording once again, but did want to get my favorite gaming moment of 2018. It's essentially just having Smash coming out and getting to play with all the community members who we had missed connections with. We all had our games that we loved and played, but Smash was that one unifier for at least a month before we split up again to meet our gaming wants and needs.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, it's and he definitely nailed it on the head with that one. I mean, like, there are definitely months and times where we'll be playing our own games, and maybe we'll play a multiplayer game here too, like with Rocket League and all that. But when Smash came out, it was like everybody is here, everyone is here, and it's just what a great way to get people back together again and just have a great time with a franchise that can make impacts, can make moments like this happen. So
Definitely. Daryl, do you want to read a comment by Dragon?
Sure. So Dragon writes in, my game of the year is Celeste. Hey, playing this game, I would never realize at first just how much the game would end up resonating with me. It speaks a lot about anxiety, mental health, and facing your inner demons in the metaphysical sense of climbing a mountain. That mountain is unique because it's special to all of us. Like the main character in this game so bravely does, I hope I can climb my own mountain someday. Also, Celeste, the game itself, is absolutely fantastic and has some of the funnest level design for a 2D platformer I've ever experienced. Yeah.
I mean, that's what's up. It's like, I mean, I can't believe a game like Celeste. Like when I first played it, like I would not have imagined how thought provoking and how emotionally connected we could be to this game. I mean, Dragon made some really good points about that, and just facing your inner demons like that is. I feel like that's something that it's a life thing. We're always fighting. We're always trying to fight the good fight and just get better and better. And so, um, going up that mountain. I mean, that's what we gotta do.
We also have a comment by Samsy, and he says, "Hey, I am Samsy. My game of 2018 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, mainly because it is the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Experience. I like the single player a lot, and generally, I have a fun experience each time I boot it up and just can't put it down." That's true, and I think a lot of us found ourselves in that situation when the game came out. We just couldn't stop playing as we were unlocking all the characters and trying them out and trying everything online. It was a lot of fun.
It definitely suffers from the one more match. Like,
Oh yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna play one more match. Oh, this is a new opponent, so I don't want to just play one match and then leave. So I'm gonna want to play two matches.
Right,
Oh
right.
wait, he beat me, so I can't go out on a loss. So I'm gonna play one more. I don't want to be that guy who leaves after just one win. So I got to
Right.
win at least twice, and then it's like
Yeah.
4 hours later.
Oh man. It, it's that's what keeps you coming back. I mean, it's a good problem to have.
Nice. We also have a comment by Link Triforce. Kevin, do you want to take this one?
Absolutely. If I had to pick one, I guess it'd be Octopath. If only because it didn't get nearly enough recognition this year. The Game Awards mostly sucked this year.
Ooh.
hmm And then he says, "Yeah, but I've already had so much fun with Smash. It's right at the top for me." You know, I gotta agree. The Game Awards, it wasn't the best. I mean, there were some monotonous moments, just moments where I'm just like, like some of the music choices could have been a lot better. Um, except Celeste, because Celeste is obviously awesome. And I understand they got played that Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, but I mean,
I was personally surprised that Best Music had both Octopath and Celeste in it, and
Right.
neither one won. That,
right?
like, I've heard
It's
some of
just
the stuff
like-
from Red Dead. It's good, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's only opinion. We all have our own personal opinions, but I feel like
Mine is correct.
Yeah. There we go. Or the general consensus amongst us say that Octopath or Celeste deserve it more than Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that's fair to say.
Yes, agreed. We also have a comment from our good friend Shellshock. Daryl, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Shellshock says, when Piranha Plant was revealed for Ultimate, I laughed for almost 2 minutes straight. That's my moment. Fair enough. I think we all kind of had that. Wait, what?
Whoa.
Yes.
It's 2 minutes though. I mean, that's a lot of laughter. Good stuff though.
Apparently it was streamed, so definitely go check out his
Ooh.
stream and just
Ooh.
experience that all over again. It sounds like pure joy.
And we should have the character in, what, about 1 month from now? Hopefully?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, the timeline's a little shaky, but yeah.
Sounds good, and then we can all laugh about it. And we also have a comment from our old friend G.I. Jello.
God.
And he says, honestly, it was probably Grease for me. Such a pleasant surprise. And G.I. Yellow actually sold me on the game. I did buy it, and he recommends playing the game through one sitting, and it's about a 5-6 hour game. I just haven't found the window, but G.I. Yellow, for sure, as soon as I beat it, and I'm going to be talking to you about my experience, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. I haven't played it yet. I want to at some point. I've been prioritizing games I already currently have and have not played.
Yeah, I have the same issue, or the same good problem. Let's just say that because it's always good to play more games. But GI Joe has been like he's been hyping this game a lot too. So I mean this, and I've seen the trailers and the reviews. Like it looks pretty bomb.com. So I mean I definitely want to play it too.
Nice. So thank you everybody for sending in your voice messages and your text messages about your favorite games and gaming moments of 2018. It's been a good year overall. And with that, we're turning to 2019. And we have a couple of special mentions or most anticipated games that we have for 2019. So, Kevin, what are you looking forward to this year?
Y'all ready for this? I got Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's obviously gonna be. I mean, we already have the jump packed on that, right? Like we're gonna play through. If we lose people in the game, that's it. Permadeath.
We
Keep
cry
going.
our tears and move on.
That's right. It's tough bleep. That's all I gotta say about that. But and then the second one I got is the Untitled Goose Game. I mean, I just can't get
Okay.
over how awesome it's gonna be being a goose and being able to flap my wings and reach out for items here and there, mess up the grocery store, mess up the town, mess up everything or whatever. Like it's gonna be awesome. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then the last one I actually mentioned it during my thing about the Goose Game, the town, which is the
Oh yeah.
RPG that is
Oh.
upcoming, made by Game Freak. You know, the same team that makes Pokemon. You know how everything's gonna be happening in the town. It's a turn-based role-playing game, and like just from that direct presentation, like it was just. I'm pretty curious about that one. Like I like the art. I like the direction it's going. I mean, I'm just ready to go for that one. So I hope it comes sooner than later.
Nice. That already sounds like an awesome year to me. So, Daryl, what are you looking forward to?
So yeah, my most hyped game, kind of because of the silly challenge that we put out, is Fire Emblem. I'm
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the Fire Emblem challenge, just to see if we can actually get through it. I think there'd be some, I think some of our Discord listeners are actually gonna be following along with us, so it should inspire some emotional conversation and we'll see exactly how it goes. I'm really really looking forward to it, and that's elevated to my most hyped upcoming game. After that, obviously Metroid Prime 4, which we know nothing about, but it has a logo. It looks pretty cool. And then Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles getting the re-release with online
yes.
play
There we
and,
go.
and such. That game's not out yet, but assuming the port runs well and it actually has online play and such, I mean, you're already looking at like best of 2019 material for me because I really really like that game. I can't understate how much I enjoyed playing that game on GameCube and just how much I'm looking forward to playing it again with some friends or exactly however it gets played. Andrew, the guy I played with the first time, actually has a Switch too.
Oh,
So
nice.
I've told him, hey,
There we
did
go.
you see this game is coming? So there's a good chance we do a repeat, but it's just a fun game. I like it. But I mean, moreover, I think I'm more excited for, other than Crystal Chronicles, and because that's awesome. I'm really excited for the games we don't know anything about yet, or the games we don't
Yeah.
actually know are coming yet. And I've
Yep.
kind of grouped them into like second tier Nintendo, and that's a little harsh. I don't really want to say it like that, but now that we've got the Marios and Zeldas and Mario Kart and Smash and Splatoon out, what
Right.
do we have coming? So I'm really hopeful for a Pikmin game. I'm hopeful for the new Yoshi game that we actually do know what it is.
Right.
But I mean, then if you kind of look into the games that they fill these kind of gaps with, you're looking at like Mario sports games, which, I mean, sign me up for Strikers if that's a thing, or
Yes.
I would also hype for Mario Golf. Either one of those I'd be really
Yes,
happy about.
definitely.
Rhythm Heaven would be awesome to see.
Mm.
Or some people prefer WarioWare. Not me particularly, but either one of those. Or even like some of these side games, like another Zelda Four Swords or something like that, would be a lot of fun
Yeah.
on this system. So, uh, you know, all signs are pointing to having a direct, hopefully sometime this month. Hopefully the sooner the better. And
Right.
that's going to be one of my most excited directs in a very long time, just to, just to see exactly what is coming that we don't know anything about at this point.
Yeah.
There's one series that I do want to make an appearance on the Switch. I mean, Ace Attorney. I miss it so much. Did they announce any games on Ace Attorney? No, right? Not yet.
I don't think yet.
I
No.
believe it's not official, I believe, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's heavily rumored that it's getting
All
pretty
right.
much all of them, I think.
Man, I hope it comes.
I mean,
'cause-
the way Capcom is, there'll probably be an Ace Attorney collection pretty soon here.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that'll be great, man.
Nice. Good stuff. So, my most anticipated game of 2019. Come on, no surprise. It's Animal Crossing.
What?
Whoa,
When-
what a surprise.
So,
What?
when this game comes out, everything stops. Not just in games, a lot of things in life. And,
The
and
podcast
I
stops.
couldn't be-
Everything
whoa.
stops.
Yo, I mean,
and I wouldn't have it any other way. No,
We're
no.
all hating now.
No, it's gonna be awesome. Basically, Nintendo decides when I take my 2-week vacation, and I'm proud of that. That's completely fine. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Now, my second most anticipated, just a quick mention. It's not on a Nintendo system. It's Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Basically, Ori 2, the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. Cannot wait for this one. It's gonna be awesome. They're taking their sweet time with it, so probably a good sign. So it's gonna be awesome. And my number three, honestly, if we knew details about Metroid Prime 4 or the next mainline Pokemon game, it would probably be one of these two. But since I kind of want to wait to see details on those before I kind of include them on this list, my number three most anticipated game is indeed Fire Emblem Three Houses. And
Nice.
Yes.
the challenge we're doing, which is gonna be, it's already scary, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I just want to say real quick. I did mention it before on the Discord. I am going to have a spreadsheet or a document that will keep all of our names intact with this pact that we have for the challenge. So look out for that very soon. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
You know what? Let's open that up to like along the row of headers. List like the chapters that each person has gotten to and who they lost in each chapter. Let's actually memorialize these poor fallen soldiers that we're forgetting forever.
That is an amazing idea, and we are gonna do just that. So you hear it from us, you hear it from Daryl. We're gonna do that. So keep your eyes peeled for that spreadsheet because it's gonna come soon, and we're gonna build the hype even more for this game. So there you go.
Yeah, obviously my fear is that I get to the final and like I don't have enough soldiers to actually win. Like, yeah, I don't know how hard I expect this game to be. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, to make this real, you should really play on hard. And I'm like, no.
So let's just hope there's grinding, or let's just be ready to buy a lot of DLC.
Sign me up. I'm ready.
And for our listeners, if you said it on the Discord that you are going into this challenge, we will find the record that you said it. So, hey, it may be too late, but
It's over
you're gonna be
now.
part of the challenge.
Uh-oh.
Nice. So, any closing comments, you guys?
No, I'm looking forward to 2019 as a whole. I think there's a lot on the horizon that maybe we don't even know about at this point, and we didn't even go into some of the indie games that we know are coming, like Wargroove and Dragon Marked for Death, and a few other really cool looking ones. So I think it's going to be a really good year. I think it's going to be a surprisingly good year.
Yes.
Holy shoot! I totally forgot about Wargroove. Oh my goodness.
You're welcome.
See, it's already
Well, what? I was just like, I know I'm missing something. I'm like, but what is it? Like, what's? But Wargroove, yeah. That's coming out
Probably pretty
soon?
soon. Probably
Okay.
pretty soon.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, how can we forget about the spiritual successor of Advance Wars? I mean, and more. Like, it's just amazing. I just okay. I do have one closing comment. I just want to say two things. Thank you to everybody who has supported us with us being Nintendo Jump Podcast. I mean, we're 6 months going strong, and hopefully many more months and years to come. It's always been a fun ride, and I also want to wish everybody a very fun and safe 2019. It's a new year, new challenges, New Year's resolutions. I know I have a couple on my end, and hopefully you guys have as well, guys and girls, and everybody. And it's just gonna be great. And yeah, I just want to say that, and please continue to listen to us because we got more coming, and we appreciate the support. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Very well said. Well, it is time to jump on out of here. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't done so, feel free to join our Discord group. There is a link to it in the description of this episode. You can also follow us on social media. We are on Twitter at NintendoJump and on Instagram as NintendoJump as well. We have a Facebook group that you can join, and all of our episodes are on YouTube. Feel free to leave us a comment about your favorite game or gaming moments of 2018 and what you're looking forward to in 2019, as well as any comments you may have on this podcast or any future episode ideas. We also welcome your feedback via social media or via email at NintendoJumpPodcast@gmail.com. We ask that you please leave us a review on your podcast application of choice. We would really appreciate it. Once again, this is Sergio, and on behalf of Daryl and Kevin, thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week and an even greater 2019. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
See ya. Happy New Year.